Curses. An incantation or seal, which when broken or disturbed, is claimed to cause things such as bad luck, illness, or even death. Although most of the claims have been written off as simple superstition, there is one curse that caught the attention of many and disturbed the world for a time. Today, we will be heading to the Great Pyramids of ancient Egypt and discussing the curse of the pharaohs, and more specifically, the curse of King Tutankhamun, here on Mystery Archives. Ancient curses in Egyptian culture were not typically too common, but when someone like a great leader or a pharaoh passed away, in rare circumstances, curses were placed on the tombs and the surrounding chamber walls. This was to keep any grave robbers or threats away from the bodies and away from the leaders as they entered the afterlife. One of the earliest curses discovered was that of the Old Kingdom, which when translated read, "Cursed be those who disturb the rest of a pharaoh. They that shall break the seal of this tomb shall meet death by a disease that no doctor can diagnose." Many others warn of various gods smiting the trespassers and or causing immense physical and spiritual harm to anyone who dare break the seal. These of course were not taken literally most of the time, and although there were many stories of misfortune befalling people in the past who had disturbed the various tombs of the pharaohs, several particular events closer to the modern day is what we will be focusing on. In the 1940s, a young archaeologist named Zahi Hawass was excavating at Qom Abdu Bilo and had to transport several artifacts from the Greco-Roman site. That day his cousin died, and exactly 1 year to the day, his uncle died, and on the second anniversary of moving the artifacts, his aunt passed away as well. Although Zahi was disturbed at the realization, he continued his work. Years later, he was excavating the tombs of the builders of the pyramids of Giza, and he encountered a curse which read, "All people who enter this tomb, who will make evil against this tomb and destroy it, may the crocodile be against them in the water, and the snakes against them on the land. May the hippopotamus be against them in the water, and the scorpion on the land." Though not superstitious, he decided to not disturb the mummies. However, he was later involved in the removal of 2 child mummies to a museum near the site, and from the day the children's mummies were moved, he began to have haunting dreams. He dreamt that 2 children would lead him into the pyramid, and then into a hidden chamber, and once inside the chamber, they would decay, taunt him, and attempt to drag him into the afterlife. The disturbing dreams were unceasing, and they continued until the mummies were reunited with their father at the museum they were being moved to. But the curse that arguably got the most attention was that of King Tutankhamun. A team led by archaeologist Howard Carter unearthed Tutankhamun in 1922, thus launching the modern era of Egyptology. During this discovery, Egyptologist James Henry Breasted worked with Carter. After opening the tomb, he was approaching his home and he heard a faint, almost human cry. Upon reaching the entrance, he saw his bird cage, which was occupied by his pet canary. But not hearing any noise from the bird when he came in, he became concerned. Upon approaching the cage, he was frightened to find a cobra in place of his beloved pet, and his pet in its mouth. Word soon got out and local rumors began to suggest that the team had indeed been cursed, especially after killing and further examination of the snake It was found to be a royal cobra, the same that was worn on the king's head to strike his enemies. The strange news made it all the way to the New York Times on December 22nd of 1922, but that was really just the beginning of the mysterious happenings. The first death to take place was that of Lord Carnarvon. During the dig, he had been bitten by a mosquito, and later that night had accidentally cut the bite while shaving. Just several weeks later, it had become infected, resulting in blood poisoning, which Carnarvon then perished from. Another strange event tied to the original dig was that of Henry Field. Field had been a part of the team, and he had found a bracelet inscribed with a curse. The curse read, "He who moves this body shall have fire, water, and pestilence upon him." Paying no attention, he went ahead and adorned the bracelet for the rest of the dig. Just 2 days later, Field's house burned down, and then during its reconstruction, it was then swept away by a flood. Several more people would die under strange circumstances. George J. Gould, a visitor to the tomb during its excavation, died 5 months later due to complications of a fever he had developed several days after his initial visit. A.C. Mace, a member of the excavation team, died in 1928 of arsenic poisoning from an unknown source. Richard Bethel, Carter's secretary, died 6 years later by smothering, which the person or cause was never determined. And lastly, Howard Carter, who died from a rare and aggressive cancer. Though many of these deaths could be written off as bizarre and circumstantial, it certainly makes one believe that there could be something to those old Egyptian curses, after all. So if you find yourself in front of a mummy's tomb, you may not want to open it, because what lies inside could be your doom. But what do you think? Are Egyptian curses real or just superstition? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with the bell, like this video, and share it on social media. If you guys have any suggestions, make sure to let us know down below as well. And find another mystery to pique your interest by clicking one of my other videos on screen now. And until next time, this has been Cody here at Mystery Archives. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.